How big a threat is Google Google Express now to Amazon?
Well, I mean, I think the customer is going to be gravitated toward the companies that can provide the best experience and the fastest and most efficient way to get them the products. And so any company that comes out with a solution that will help get the customer the product easier and faster is definitely going to be something that everybody takes notice of.
So in my experience, Brad, Google Shopping is cool if they have what you want, but they don't have everything, and Amazon does, as your book explains. So how big a threat is Google to Amazon and vice versa?
Well, you know, I think Amazon has a big lead, right? It's got mind share. Amazon Prime is a little bit more expensive at $99 a year, but they've added in all sorts of extras from the movies to the free books. They also have a model that is expressly for the purpose of online delivery. Google's working with Costco and Staples and Petco. You know, those are stores that are designed for in-store browsing. Selection is limited. That's why Amazon had so much success right off the bat 20 years ago. So I think this is early. We'll see if they can really be a danger to Amazon.
I wonder, Corey, why would Google bother with this?
Well, I think they recognize, I mean, you know, there's some speculation that they want a different revenue source, and I think anything they do next to search is going to pale in comparison. But I think that they recognize that, you know, fundamentally these companies have the same infrastructure minus the delivery part of it, right, minus the factory part of it. But Google recognizes that they can be in a lot of the businesses that Amazon's in, as Amazon has always recognized that Google's in the same. You know, it wasn't all that long ago that Amazon had a big effort in Palo Alto, right in Silicon Valley, to try to launch their own search engine. It was a big startup. It was maybe, Brad, 10 years ago. You talk about it in your book.
Right.
Their A9 search engine was cutting-edge search technology. It's something that they backed away from. But Jeff Bezos has always been noodling around this idea of search. Amazon's one of the biggest customers to Google. If you search a lot of keywords in Google, Amazon searches come up at the top because Amazon's paying dearly for that. So I think they recognize they're both in the same business.
And in terms of search, I mean, if I'm buying something, I start on Amazon. If I can't find it there, then I go to Google.
And that's a huge problem for Google. Product listing ads are not only a big part of overall Google search, but they're lucrative. You know, if you're Hoover Vacuums, you pay a lot to be there up on Google listings. So Google with Google Express, it's really trying to protect the search business.
Now, Jordy, you actually have a relationship. Your company has a relationship with Google. They use your data to improve the shopping experience. What priorities does Google have? What are they looking to improve?
Well, you know, I can't speak to Google's specific agenda or their priorities, but we share the same mission in terms of giving customers transparency and information about where they can go to buy the best products, get the best experience if they're buying a given set of products. And so the way that we work with Google is just to provide integration with our data, which helps enhance the transparency and say, look, if this retailer is really good at shipping or this retailer is really good at customer service or can be more helpful, then that's a win for the customer. And if it's a win for the user, people feel more comfortable on the web, and then everybody wins.
Brad, the Google partnership with PetSmart strikes me as so reminiscent of the bubble, right? Where all of a sudden we've got dog food being delivered to your front door, but now by Google, which was a business model that blew up back in the day.
Actually, though, I used that.
Well, of course you
cats.
use it. Again, this is selling $1 for 50 cents. It's a bad business model that people love.
It's actually not
as
anymore,
consumers.
right? It was back then. Today it is all about density. You've got, you know, billions of people on the internet. We see in San Francisco, which is really ground zero for this e-commerce boom, the Google shopping vans, the Amazon trucks, you know, in our streets. Well, if you can make 3 or 4 stops in one neighborhood on your morning run, it does, the math does work.
So maybe it's not going to happen in rural Cleveland or something, or in the suburbs thereof. You know, I think there's a profound change certainly in places in America. I mean, I was walking to church on Sunday and I saw a mail truck. There's a mail truck on a Sunday. It drove right across, and I'm like, what is that truck doing? And I looked inside, and it was filled with these Amazon boxes. So there's a fundamental change happening.
I'm like jumping for joy every time I get a box from Amazon on Sunday. It's awesome.
It's a big change for these companies, but I wonder if Google's just noodling around here if there's a serious business effort from them.
You know, they're trying to protect their core franchise, which is search, and they see that a lot of people are starting those lucrative product searches on Amazon, and they've moved to counter, just as Amazon has invaded lots of Google businesses and is releasing all these devices with those forked versions of Android.
By the way, Amazon now opening brick-and-mortar stores. What's up with that?
Well, that New York store, it looks like it'll be in part a distribution and a pickup center. The pop-up stores they've been doing for a couple of years in San Francisco, look, they've got a tablet, a phone, a set-top box. People want to hold those things, so Amazon's trying to show them to customers.
Do you see Amazon and Google as the new rivals?
Biggest rivals in tech.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And full of irony, too, because Bezos was an early Google investor and had a great relationship with the founders, and they are now on a collision course in nearly every business, including the cloud.